My name is Mark Otabo, and you are watching The Big Issue. Now, following President Buhari's call for alternatives of pharmaceuticals, vaccines against COVID-19 pandemics, it appears traditional and alternative medicine, which has been held down by allopathic medicine for a long time, now has the opportunity to turn things around. Now, this conviction has become louder in the way and manner Nigerians home and even in the diaspora have testified to the result of herbal formulas for the cure of coronavirus infections. Now, despite this development, Western-trained or orthodox doctors are of the opinion that claims for herbal cures should not be trusted. Now, the question remains, should Nigerians rely on alternative medicine for the cure of coronavirus infections? Now, to answer these questions are two health practitioners highly successful in their field. They are joining us via Zoom for this debate. Dr. Nicholas Audifferen is a medical practitioner and of the opinion that all medicine must be scientifically proven and definitive in their biological actions. Therefore, any medicine that have not been subjected to laboratory tests should not be relied upon. And of course, on the other hand, we have Dr. Paul Ojeih is the Managing Director of Iris Medical Foundation, Drugs and Pharmaceutical. He is here to say alternative medicine has so far proven to be more effective in curing coronavirus infections. All right, very quickly, I know the feeling having a show in this magnitude, but the truth is the show must go on. We never can tell. This will be with us for the next 100 years, but in the meanwhile, let's just do what we have to do. Now, for those of you at home still thinking that COVID-19 is not real, hopefully after this show, you must have been convinced beyond reasonable doubt that yes, it is here with us. We just need to apply the precautionary measures to stay away from trouble. All right, Dr. Nicholas, very quickly, Dr. Paul is of the opinion that alternative medicine might just be the solution for the cure of coronavirus. Now, how do you agree with his claim, at least with the news we've been hearing back and forth? Obviously, there seem to be flashes of light at the end of the tunnel for alternative medicine to come with a solution to tackle COVID-19. So what is your position on this assertion?
Well, thank you for inviting me, Mark.
Yeah,
well, alternative medicine may or may not be the cure for corona.
Why so?
For me, that is not the issue. For me, the issue is that any alternative medicine option must be tested to prove its efficacy in terms of treatment of corona, whether symptoms of corona or corona itself. Any drug, herbal drug or herbal compound must go through the same stringent channels that the so-called orthodox meds go through in order to be sure that it's safe for people to consume. For me, it's as simple as that.
All right, now you are saying it must go through testing. Well, if after going through testing, it finally arrives at a point that, yes, the destination now would be herbal, would it in any way, cause havoc in the world of the orthodox world, knowing that the herbal solution is now where people want to tilt their fate towards? Don't you think there would be some sort of imbalance with having people now relying on herbal when orthodox had already set a precedent from over time with history, how effective they've been? But now, is this disease going to bring about a doubt in the orthodox medicine?
I think that maybe people have had a misconception regarding what is considered to be alternative medicine and what is considered to be orthodox medicine from the perspective of herbal medication.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that most of the drugs that we take here are probably synthetic compounds that originated from actual plant-based ingredients for medication. To say that it will cause some form of change or cataclysm or whatever, however you want to put it, if it is found that a herbal compound can provide the cure for corona is speaking too much. If you remember, or whether you're aware or not, the major treatments, for example, for malaria, chloroquine, and even the later one, which is derivatives of artemisinin, are all plant-derived compounds. So I don't see it as causing any major
upset whatsoever.
imbalance,
Okay.
upset, so to say, if it's found to be so.
Okay.
Like what Dr. Nicholas has said, he's been able to tell you guys that most of the conventional medication are synthetic, which has an history or that can be traced to organic medication, a simply form of which is processed before it becomes synthetic. And so far, conventional medication is one perfect form of medication that has done so much in various ailments. Okay, but I mean, they've not been able to actually nip on the board this corona issue. So we are saying that give alternative medicine a chance to treat and cure coronavirus. That is just what we are saying. Dr. Nicholas has raised so many valid points. Of course, it is true. There are some issues of dosage, there are some issues of active ingredients. But when I and Dr. Nicholas spoke that last time, he said Irish Medical Foundation is quite different because the way we structure Irish Medical Foundation, we structure Irish Medical Foundation like a conventional medical practice. Okay, the late MD structured Iris in a form of a conventional medical hospital. Iris always says we're the last bus stop for various health issues. If you've gone conventional, you're not impressed with the treatment you're getting, come to Irish Medical Foundation. The only thing we do differently is we apply, fit organics. And of course, we follow the set standard of medicine, do no harm. If you cannot make that patient better, do no harm. So in Irish Medical Foundation, we go through set standard, which includes you must run a comprehensive test, blood work and everything, so that we'll know what is wrong with you. Then we apply alternative medicine. So Iris has been able to marry conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Some other practitioners too are yet to get there. We need to encourage them. But as it stands now, Madagascar has blazed the trail on alternative medicine. Their medication is working to a large extent, and I believe that we can also do better. As it stands now, they've suspended the clinical trials going on chloroquine. They have suspended virtually all medications which should have been used, for testing against coronavirus. So the truth is this: alternative medicine stands a better chance at present now in fighting coronavirus.
All right, Dr. Paul. Now, with the news regarding Madagascar's discovery for COVID-19, the COVID-19 pandemic, now a lot of people right now are beginning to have faith once again that we don't have to rely totally on orthodox medicine for things to happen. Now, the advantage is now that with the way the COVID-19 played out, a lot of things have already been crippled. And for things to get back to normal, there is a tendency for things to speed up. And that is why any solution right now that tends to rear its head might just be embraced or tried in the process of trying to, quell all of this, rancor that is happening around. Now, don't you think waiting for an orthodox solution that has to go through testing, stringent procedures, don't you think by the time we are done waiting for the arrival of an orthodox medicine, a lot of damage will have been caused?
Well, okay. Well, I can understand the concerns that people have regarding the effects of this COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
But as a medical healthcare professional, I cannot recommend to people to go and rush and take herbs, concoctions, or even medication for which that has no therapeutic basis, that will not do anything, just on the basis of let's give it a try. Right now there are measures that are being taken for at least dealing with the issue of corona. They may not be as satisfactory as one would like, but I feel it's better than us to go and try some form of a compound that one does not even know what the active ingredient is. It hasn't been tested. We don't know the efficacy. We don't know the specificity, the selectivity. We don't know anything about it. And say, go and take it on the off chance that it will work. As a medical practitioner, practically almost every doctor has been through has seen the consequences of taking concoctions, so to say, that has no basis in science. We've had people coming in on admission with gastric poisoning. We've had people coming in with liver failure. We've had people coming in all sorts of things that have had to be managed. A case of the cure being worse than the disease. So as a medical practitioner, I can't recommend that anybody should go and use something that nobody really knows about. I mean, if we have a herbal compound that has been tested, that has been shown to be efficacious, treating whatever condition, and I'm not even just talking about corona, whatever condition it is, then of course, let's give it a try. I mean, in the end, our oaths as physicians is to do no wrong, and we're here to help people. So whatever needs to be done will be done, but I can't recommend them using something that nobody knows about or nobody understands or nobody has seen what it is.
All right, now, Dr. Nicholas, you stated earlier on that even the synthetics that we actually take is from the plant-based solution. Now, with Madagascar's discovery, is it not okay to at least give Madagascar a listening ear with what is happening around now? Because the president has come out openly to the world to say, look, is it because we are in Africa and that is why we're not giving this attention? Because he's been able to manage his country with that particular solution they came up with. And at a point, there were no deaths recorded, which was a very, very fantastic breakthrough for them, compared to the rest of the world where people were dying like flies. Now he's saying, look, this is the solution I've come up with, and it's because we are Africa, and that's why we're not giving attention. And he made a case for the drug, and even Guinea went as far as going to purchase some of it, and there was some reports in the news also that Nigeria was also gearing to go get some, but we don't know how confirmed that report is. But it seemed like African countries were once again trying to put faith in a fellow brother's cure to see how they can actually manage the situation within their continent. Now, how would you address this breakthrough that happened in Madagascar? I mean, at least we know that you are advocating for orthodox medicine. Shouldn't you at least cut them some slack with actually going the extra mile to find a solution with the herbal option that they've come up with so far?
I don't have a problem with I don't want to be seen as somebody who is against herbal medicine or alternative medicine. I'm not actually.
Okay.
My view, I mean, look, based on the data that we've been given about Madagascar, I mean, kudos to the president of Madagascar and the people of Madagascar as to how they've been able to manage their COVID-19 situation. I mean, one has to give them a standing ovation. Now, regarding the Madagascar herbal solution, I don't see it as a problem. What I'm aware of is that the Nigerian president, has said that the Madagascar solution should be tested, it should be put through trials to see that it's safe and it's efficacious, that it does what it is that they claim to do. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Now, the issue regarding that solution is that, for me, I believe that, like all things that have to do with health, especially pharmaceutics, if Madagascar feels that their solution is a cure for corona or symptoms of corona, then they should be able to give us some data regarding that solution. Now, okay. I know people have complained that if Madagascar reveals it, some people might steal, but that's what patents are for. Patents are such some form of copyright safety measures that lets everybody know that this is your specific invention, your specific solution belongs to you, and gives you legal protection.
Okay.
I mean, and that's how it is with medication everywhere, all over the world. Madagascar is a country. I sincerely doubt that anybody will be able to push aside a nation if they patented the drug. So let us see what it is. Let us see what the trials are, the figures that have to go with it, its efficiency figures. What were the rates of cure? What were the rates of, what were the morbidity or mortality data? Once we see that, we can make it should be standardized that everybody can see, and it's very clear that this drug is okay for everybody. I have up till now not seen anything like that. So I'm not discounting the drug, the solution, medicine, but okay. Their solution, but they should let us see what it is, and we know. Meanwhile, anyway, I'm aware that NAFDAC is testing it. We'll see what NAFDAC has to say about that. And if they say it's good, let it be used. There's no problem. I mean, we don't have any issues with that.
Okay. Now, all right, we'll go for a break. When we return, definitely, this conversation will continue. And we are still, holding forth with asking, should herbal solution be the way forward in the cure for coronavirus? We'll be right back. And of course, if you're just joining us, this is still the big issue. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still the big issue. Now, on the other hand, Dr. Paul Ojeih is the managing director of Iris Medical Foundation Drugs and Pharmaceutical. He's here to say alternative medicine has so far proven to be more effective in curing coronavirus infections. Dr. Nicholas did say that if Madagascar is claiming that their solution is the way forward, they should come up with data analysis telling the world what components has come into that solution they have provided. But as it is, no matter what they say, the world will not pay attention to them because they're not ready to reveal the components of their drug, if truly they are sincere about the solution they have found. Also highlighted the fear of hijacking, whatever it is they have discovered that, come on, patent has already covered that, the copyright, whatever, has covered all those areas, that they shouldn't be afraid of someone coming to hijack their ideas. Now, what is your stand? Do you think Madagascar should actually unveil to the world what they have come up with, or whatever it is they have composed together to bring about that solution? In your own, from your own point of view as a practitioner with Iris Medical, do you think it's a good idea to reveal your source of how you go about your cure?
Mark, there's what we call family kept secrets, which Coca-Cola for over the years, I said this before, Coca-Cola and Guinness, they have refused to release their ingredients which they use in making Guinness and Coca-Cola and Fanta. Madagascar might release their ingredients, but not now. It is too early. Come on, they need to make money from their COVID medication. And if they, of course, they will fight for, a trademark and patent rights so that they can actually secure their formulas. But remember, this is a pandemic that they need to make so much money on. They try the drugs, it is working. If Dr. Nicholas says they've not released data, we don't know. I and Dr. Nicholas were in Nigeria. We don't actually know if they've released data to the WHO. But I'm very, very sure that Madagascar is one nation that tends to tilt towards, the Western practice. The truth is this, Africans, sometimes we cut corners. I'll be very, very honest and blunt. But Madagascar, to some extent, they and Rwanda tend to behave like the whites. They follow due process. So for a country's president to tell you that we have the cure for coronavirus, they have crossed their T's and dotted their I's. They've done everything possible, to ascertain the fact that that medication actually works. They would fight for patents. I am very, very sure they would trademark that ingredient, but they will not release right now, because if they do, various other drug companies would quickly put that ingredient together and call it a different name. They will have various medications competing. Remember that the alternative medical sector is quite different from your conventional synthetic, pharma companies. Okay. Pharma companies have various generic medications that treat various ailments. Like malaria, for example, we have Bicham, we have Fixin, we have Emzor, all turning out various medications to handle one particular ailment, which is malaria. But this is coronavirus, it's a pandemic. Okay. And Madagascar has gotten the ace up their sleeves. They would hold on for a long time. They would milk this for a very, very long time until they've made so much money. Then they might put up that formula. Of course, it will be copied, and everybody will tell you, I have a cure for coronavirus. Okay. They only say that, which is just one active ingredient. But I do know that Madagascar will not be so stupid to divulge and disclose all the ingredients that they use. All right. That is it.
Okay, now before we switch to Dr. Nicholas quickly, now, Nigeria being in giant of Africa, are you saying that now, because obviously you are saying that there is a cure for COVID-19 in Nigeria, and you happen to spearhead that attack with your finding. Are you telling us now that you have found a cure for COVID-19? Dr. Paul.
Mark, I would go further. Truthfully speaking, sincerely speaking, Iris Medical Foundation has been treating corona patients ever since this epidemic blew out of proportion. They call it a pandemic. I say it's not a pandemic. Okay, we've had patients call in and they tell us, I have this symptom, I have that symptom. Mark, come on, for almost 20 years I've been doing this. I know when a patient has coronavirus, and I would insist, go and do your test, and they would tell me, or they will tell our staffs, I don't want to go to the isolation center. They would put me on a lockdown, keep your medical known. That drug has been in existence over 18 years. I keep on saying it. I did not discover Benedict Elixir. I did not create Benedict Elixir. Benedict Elixir was created by the founder of Irish Medical Foundation, Professor Paul Ojeih, professor of medicine. He discovered that medication. Everything about that medication was done by him and his team. What we are doing right now is we keep on making that medication because it's a set formula, it's a set standard which we are following. The chief production manager of Irish Medical Foundation is still with us till date. Okay? Now, I keep on saying this too. There are better practitioners, better than me, more efficient and more exposed to alternative medicine that might have a cure. But unfortunately, they might be scared to come forward. They might not be as eloquent and as stubborn as I am, and so they sit behind. Mark, it took me a great deal to launch this battle that Irish Medical Foundation has a cure for coronavirus. When I did, I knew the attack I faced. My family don't stay with me. I have moved from my house. I hardly go to the office. All I do is consult online through phones and through social media because I know the attack I've suffered. I know the threats that come with what I have declared.
All right, let's talk to Dr. Nicholas. Dr. Nicholas, yes, with the revelation that Dr. Paul has unveiled to us now, is it not clear that it will be risky for anybody who has a cure right now to come out? Like what he said, his life has been under threat for a while and he's been moving from one place to another. He says he's a very stubborn person, unlike others who might have the solution, but they are scared to come out. Now, why is there so much, why is there war? Why you made it look easy when you actually made a case for orthodox medicine. Like, come on, if there's a cure for Herbal, why can't we go with it? But it's much more than that. You also try to bridge both together. So if the bridge is, from the way you reveal the bridge, it's obvious there should be harmony. But why isn't there harmony? Look at what he just said. His life has been under threat and people have been calling him out because why? He has come out to say he has a possible solution for coronavirus. What's your take on all of this, sir?
Well, I find it, look, the issue is this. If Irish Medical Center has a cure for coronavirus, they should conduct some form of trial that they can use to convince everybody that they have a cure for coronavirus. I'm very sorry, Paul, that you've been having threats to your life and your family. I find that to be outrageous and very uncalled for. I don't know why that is happening. It's ridiculous. But if we're sticking to the topic we're saying here, is that, you see, the problem that we always have regarding herbal meds is always this aura of secrecy, so to speak, that gives it that anti-orthodox flavor, which a lot of people get skeptical about. There are international standards for how things are done, both for orthodox and even herbal meds. There are international standards for this. There's no reinventing the wheel. There's a way things are done. If you, and I'm talking about Iris, I'm talking about Madagascar, I'm talking about anybody, you say that you have a cure or a treatment for coronavirus or any other medical disease condition, show us data to prove it.
Show us data to prove it. Dr. Nicholas, hold on. Show us data to prove it. We will be back. This conversation would continue. It's getting heated already. Wherever you are, this is still the big issue. Welcome back once again. This is, of course, still the big issue. While the show is getting really intense and our guests are not backing down on their conviction, but we do have to go on a ride with what we actually stayed on before to tell you how both of them have been reacting to the conversation so far. Now, Dr. Paul has said that there's been so much rancor with the fact that the solution to coronavirus is here, but people are just not willing to accept it. Now, Dr. Nicholas is saying, come on, if you say the solution is here, bring out the data, let us see. Now, Dr. Nicholas, I had to cut you off on that particular point you were making before we went on that break, but I want to take you up on this. You are saying that they should come up with a data to reveal what components they have come up with. That this secrecy around their practice is what is always causing the rancor. Now, but Dr. Paul has stated that, look, you can't afford to have the formula come out now. It's still too early. They need to make their money. So what is your stand on this? They say they need to make their money. I mean, it will be too early to reveal whatever data they have right now regarding the cure that they have come up with. So how do you address that stance that they already have and that they're not willing to bend?
I don't agree with the issue that making money and bringing out trial data or efficacy data are mutually exclusive. Look, like I said, once again, there's a standard by which all things are done. Patents cover anything that has to do with health. I mean, any pharmaceutics or any invention or anything like that. It's copyrighted and it's protected legally. Look, and then if we put that aside and we even say that you don't even want to tell us the component data, but that is secret. Okay, fine. Let's go with that argument. Show us the studies that show the efficacy of the ingredient. You should be able to tell us, we gave this meds to like 100 people, and out of it, 70 of them were okay, 20 of them were okay except for this, 10 of them were not okay. At least we should be able to see something that we can use to assess this thing. Hearsay, say so, it doesn't work when it comes to issues of health or safety. We don't do that. We do empirical medicine, evidence-based medicine. Okay. We know that this works, and that's the standard.
Okay, now you have actually held your stand sway with the fact that the orthodox just might be the way because of the stringent process it goes through. But recall that Bill Gates is advocating for a vaccine to finally eradicate coronavirus. And you could also testify at the outrage of the world against using a vaccine to tackle, the coronavirus, because it's looking like people are becoming more enlightened. They do not trust the vaccine because the person that is advocating for the vaccine is saying has always been an advocate of the population. And that has always been an argument hanging in the balance that probably people are yet to talk about. Now, if Bill Gates is advocating for a vaccine to eradicate coronavirus, and there's an outcry against vaccine, and here is a herbal solution here that is more of less risk because of the fact that it is natural. I mean, how do you think people would want to stick with the orthodox idea of having a vaccine, in quote, when a herbal solution is right there for them to take their chance on? Do you think there's still going to be that, that trust or faith, in having to have a vaccine for the solution when there's a herbal solution, knocking on the door?
Well, if I address the initial statement that you made, I do not agree with the anti-vaxxer stand. I find that argument to be ludicrous. Vaccination has increased the lifespan of people, has increased the population of this country. It has decreased morbidity and mortality. It has reduced under 5 childhood illness. I find it ridiculous that now, when people have reached a certain level of prosperity and no longer have to fight to survive, they're now opening their mouth to now start talking about the fact that vaccines are not good for you. I find that argument to be utterly ludicrous. Okay. I'm going to be very blunt about it. I'm sorry if people get offended, but I feel very strongly about this. Okay. Now, regarding the issue of Bill Gates, well, everybody can follow whatever it is that they want to say. That's their affair regarding between them and Bill Gates. Now, regarding the issue of vaccination being the
solution,
the solution to coronavirus, well, I don't deal in absolutes, but the way things normally run, especially for viral infections, we have found over the years is that a vaccine is the easiest way or one of the fastest ways to be able to prevent or reduce morbidity, what we call morbidity and mortality. It's how we've been able to eradicate smallpox. It's how we are going to eradicate polio. Nigeria is the last country that still has polio in the world, and we're on the verge of being declared polio free. It's vaccines that did it. It is the way they have been treating major diseases like pertussis, diphtheria, and tetanus that were considered to be major issues in the past that killed a lot of people. It's vaccination that reduced the those
Those
problems.
diseases, yeah.
So those diseases. So if the logical thing is that, okay, corona is there, it's a novel coronavirus. Sorry, COVID-19 is there. It's a novel coronavirus. It means a new coronavirus that the human race has not seen before. We've not been able to build up any immunity to it yet, and that's why it's rampaging through us so ruthlessly. So vaccines are the logical projection of how the long-term solution for the coronavirus problem.
All right.
Because I don't want to get into the technicalities of
Yeah.
molecular
Yeah,
biology.
yeah, it's okay. You've made your point. It's all right. It's all right. You've made your point. It's all right. Now, Dr. Paul, quickly. Dr. Paul, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, now, Dr. Nicholas is saying that the idea of the vaccine or people playing down the vaccine is totally, ridiculous. He's saying, look, for a long-term projection to cure coronavirus, the vaccine just might be the cure to finally eradicate coronavirus. You, as a practitioner in the area of alternative medicine, how do you think this point is going to, hold water? Do you agree with Dr. Nicholas that vaccine is the way forward long-term to cure this coronavirus?
Mark, the funny thing, it's so funny because people feel that when you practice alternative medicine, you're primitive, you're traditional, you're archaic. You understand? Gone are those days where we keep on clashing with conventional medical practitioners, okay? As at 10, 15 years ago, before you study natural medicine, naturopathy, you must understand biology, you must understand chemistry, you must take some courses in, conventional medicine. Before I studied naturopathy, I had to go through all the rudiments of, the Conventional Medical Act. I believe in vaccine. That's just the plain truth. Vaccine has led to the cure of polio in, advanced Western world. Complex diseases has been treated with vaccine. All we are saying is this. Remember that the Geneva Convention says that every human being has the right to freedom. You can choose how you want to be treated, how you want to be addressed, how you want to seek for your Medicare. That's just the plain truth. As it is now, there is no vaccine yet, and the world is not comfortable with Bill Gates sponsoring that, vaccine and procedure. Okay? Any other company can actually say would work towards getting a vaccine. No problem. There's been so much issue attached to Bill Gates and his vaccine. There's been so much conspiracy theory which we will not go into. Dr. Nicholas is a renowned, medical practitioner. I am into alternative medicine. I understand the politics involved in the drug business. That is the plain truth. Right from the HIV issue, the conspiracy theories of HIV that dates way back. My father made his own postulation that HIV does not cause AIDS. It was a long drama, back and front. Him and Dr. Balaka stood their grounds, and they could, HIV was curable. It was a conspiracy. And you see, the big pharma industries, they are multi-billion-dollar corporations. That's just the plain truth. And Dr. Nicholas disagreed with me when I said, medicine or the drug business is all about making profit. That is just the plain truth. That is why big pharma companies would not create medicine that will actually cure you permanently. It's management. But Dr. Nicholas is smiling. He knows where I'm going. But let's bring this back so we don't confuse people. There's so much politics in the drug business. That's just the plain truth. Madagascar, in the long run, will declare what they are using in creating their own medication. But I keep on saying this. I was born to meet Coca-Cola and Guinness. They have never one day disclosed what they use in making Coca-Cola and Guinness. Okay? Now, Doc says, Harris Medical Foundation, give us empirical data. Dr. Nicholas, remember that all our medications, this same Venedil Elixir has gone through processes with NAFDAC. It has been tested for toxicology reports. It has been tested to see how the body can actually tolerate it. And for over 18 years, people have been using this medication. Fine, they are saying clinical trials. We are not against trials, you understand? But what we have done in Harris Medical Foundation, we've moved straight to, deploying that medication to treat coronavirus. People call us, I want this medication. They do, and you can't tell them no. Human beings have every right to tell you, I want to be treated this way or that way. You understand? We have seen people go to churches to give birth. And I know it is wrong. Your pastor, the prophetess or whatever in the church, should ask you, go to the hospital. You understand? Lagos State has done so well. We have first-class maternity, services. Modern child death rate has reduced, which Dr. Nicholas said, and I agree. But people are so stubborn, they will tell you, I want this treatment. You cannot deny them that. And so we place them on Venedil Elixir, and the response has been so good. To go further, to go the extra mile, we are asking the government
fine. Let's get this medication across to you guys. Use this medication to treat these people. Let's see how they react. We know how they react. That is the plain truth. Dr. Nicholas, I'm not kidding. I'm not, manipulating you or being, a little bit proud or, egotic. Benedict Elixir has actually treated people of coronavirus, and we have their names, their phone numbers. We can actually call them, come up and testify. Government might not want to listen to that, so we are saying the government, come get Benedict Elixir. We have patients in the isolation center. Place them on this medication. Let's see how it goes. We are willing to divulge the active ingredient of Benedict Elixir, which NAFDAC has. Before you register any medication, you need to list your active ingredient, Dr. Nicholas. Come on. NAFDAC will do due diligence. They would, run through those materials which you say you use in, compounding your medication. Benedict Elixir has active file and database with NAFDAC. If what we are saying is wrong, NAFDAC would have issued a disclaimer because they registered that medication. They have the active ingredient. But of course, over the years, we've been able to, keep on upgrading the active ingredient of Benedict Elixir. But still, if a court subpoenas us, if the FG says disclose, we will disclose because people are dying. We'll give them the formulas. This is Benedict Elixir formula, you understand? Secure it, and let's see how it goes. We'll give them that medication to test on people. We have no issues against vaccine. Vaccine is the way forward on the long run. But in short term, we say we have a medication that we say is treating coronavirus. Get that medication, give to people, or run your own independent tests in any lab you want to. NAFDAC can actually run their own test again, over and over. See, guys, I am so confident about Benedict Elixir. Madagascar, to be honest with you guys, I know some of the active ingredients. I do. Okay?
All right.
But what we have in Benedict Elixir goes further than what Madagascar is doing.
All right, Dr. Paul, quickly, you have actually made a case for the drug called Elixir, like you rightly mentioned. I just don't want to goof the words so I don't stray because I'm not in the medical field. But you have said that that drug has proven to treat coronavirus, and you are saying the government should come and test it on the patients to see the efficacy. But if you're saying you have treated...
Run a clinical test. If it passes through their own set standard clinical test, then give to patients.
Good, but you just said that you have used it to cure some patients. But why are we not seeing this? Why have we not seen them come to testify that this drug has cured us from coronavirus? Hopefully, by their testimonies, you never can tell. That could be the break point, because of course, government obviously is not sure if that drug is efficient or not. If the testimonies of these people could come out in the open and they say, look, I was having these symptoms, blah, 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 but when I used this drug, everything was over. Hopefully that breakthrough testimony just might spark an ignition with the government in wanting to make a move. Don't you think it's about time we begin to see the faces of these people claiming to have been cured by this drug you're talking about?
You know what happened at the, on the Arab continent, the Arab Spring? One person sparked that change. Okay, I am willing, Irish Medical Foundation is willing to divulge names and address and phone numbers. But remember, there's a stigma attached to coronavirus. I'm amazed. People might want to shy away. But if they can be interviewed privately, I would disclose their data. So the government, that's just the plain truth. HIV, we keep on saying, is not a death sentence. We've been able to demystify HIV. People are living longer with antiviral medications, which they are taking, the AZT and ART, you understand? Now, people actually understand that HIV is not a death sentence. But coronavirus, when you mention the name coronavirus, people run away. I'm amazed. Nobody wants to associate with coronavirus. Coronavirus, for God's sake, is not as terrible as HIV or Ebola, or even tuberculosis.
All right, Dr. Paul.
Naturally.
Okay, Dr. Paul. Now, we've seen cases with the Orthodox medicine coming out to say they have been cured. Now, a Michigan Democratic state representative actually praised Donald Trump recently for having been cured of coronavirus using the hydroxychloroquine, solution. Yes. And now she has come out openly to say, look, this was what I used and I'm cured. Now, irrespective of the stigma that comes with it, obviously, she didn't mind all of those stigma, but she's out there, and it was said that people started tilting towards using the chloroquine, just as some of them abused it so bad that it started poisoning some patients. But
WHO has banned that particular drug. It's been banned.
Well, but this Democrat came out openly to say this was what she used in treating her coronavirus infection. Why?
Mark, let me give you an example. In the Western world, if you are gay, a homosexual, a lesbian, the world welcomes you very, very well. The Rainbow Coalition, they're perfectly okay. But how many Nigerians we have still living in their closed closets? The very minute you say you are gay, your family will disown you. we're not that developed, like I'm sure Shakabi understands what I'm saying. We are a little bit, regressive. We don't accept things. We don't. Okay? When somebody tells you I have tuberculosis, I have this ailment, the family will desert you. That's just the plain truth. That's just it. But see, to handle this issue once and for all, I am asking the government, we're not asking them to pay a dime. Come get this medication, do your clinical trials, and if it passes your clinical trials, give to patients.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Nicholas, now let's have a word with you now. Dr. Nicholas, you saw all the points that Dr. Paul has made. Obviously, he came from a standpoint of the fact that we are not yet as developed as these European countries. Stigma is always attached to a lot of things around in this part of the world. Now, you are saying, okay, let's see evidence, let's see data. But Dr. Paul is saying, come on, we can't have these things come out in the open. It's going to cause an uprising. And we wouldn't want to spark anything that will cause havoc or disrupt the peace of a nation. So what are you advocating now? Because if he's making a case for alternative medicine and saying, look, the development is not there yet for people to come out to say they have been cured by a drug of this magnitude, how do you, as an orthodox, advocate, settle this, case? Because you are saying they should come out with data. Of course, he's saying it can't happen unless it has to be secret.
Okay, what is considered to be stigma is localized. Some people consider some things to be stigma, and the same thing another person might not consider to be stigma. I'm here to be fully convinced that corona is considered to be fully stigma, to be a full stigma in Nigeria. I'm sure that there will be some people who are ready to come out and say that they were cured of corona by herbal medicine, but that's beside the point. I'm also aware that NAFDAC has 4 medical solutions, herbal medicine solutions under under review right now by its Nigerian Herbal Medicine Product Committee. I'm sure that they would handle the situation with the sensitivity and the discretion that is necessary, considering the fact that these are proprietary compounds. Let's say, of course, this drugs or this herbal medicines were actually, from what I've been informed, targeted at treatment of symptoms of corona, not at treatment or cure of coronavirus itself. That's what at least I'm aware of. Now, let's see what it is that I understand that the testing is going on. Let's see what NAFDAC has to say. Look, let me tell you, look, let's put it this way. There's nobody in the medicine value chain that would not want a development of the alternative or medical sector. It will bring employment, it will bring money into the sector, it will. But this aura, and like I've said it again, this aura of secrecy, this aura of not following the rules or of going around things, it does not bring in confidence into things. When things are done a certain way, and then somebody comes up and is not doing it that way, you start wondering, why is it that they just don't want to follow the proper way it should be done? Herbal medicine or alternative medicine practitioners need to have their products properly tested. The moment they are tested, there are no problems. We are aware of alternative medical herbal medicines in the Western world. I mean, people go and buy it from Hollands and Barrett's in England. All these herbs from the Far East. People know what it is. They'll tell you, garlic is good for the heart. This one is good for this. This one, everybody knows where it stands. In Africa, you cannot reinvent the wheel. Let's just follow the due process. Let's bring this thing out into the open. Yes, like I said, they're proprietary ingredients. You can keep your secrecy, but before you give patients, you cannot bypass testing and go direct to patients and expect everybody to be comfortable with that. Some people will be comfortable with it. Some people will not be comfortable with it. I mean, what if there are problems? What if a person gets sick? And we've seen that too many times.
Right.
Too many times in medical practice for us to discountenance it.
All right, thank you.
So let's wait and see what NAFDAC has to say about the the drugs that, the herbal medicines that are being tested.
All right,
if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not.
All right, thank you very much. Let's wait and see what NAFDAC has got to say. But right here, let's wait and see what the audience have got to say about this, because they will be joining this conversation after this break. If you're just joining us, this is still the big issue. Welcome back. Of course, if you're just joining us, this is still the big issue. Is herbal solution the breakthrough miracle cure for the coronavirus? Well, I told you earlier on that we'll be joining the conversation, and with the audience will be joining this conversation quickly. So let's quickly have questions from the audience that are joining also via Zoom. Lizzie, if I can hear you perfectly, can you hear me? Hello, Lizzie, you there?
Hello, Mike.
Okay, Lizzie, can you just, okay, fine, quickly, drop your question. Let's hear you quickly.
Herbal traditionals, they are not well recognized in the society, that they have to ignore their stuff for this, for
the coronavirus.
For proper,
for the treatment of coronavirus. So, Dr. Nicholas, you heard her. She said it's obvious that the herbal solution is not being given the attention it deserves, despite the fact that over time it has also played major roles in, taking care of situations. What's your take on that very quickly? You are of the opinion they should go through stringent testing, but she's saying, why is he not giving that recognition that it deserves?
Well, the truth of the matter is that herbal medication has been with us for a long time. Most of us are African. We know we've had the traditional DBS, et cetera, and all that stuff. The problem with the herbal medicine sector is it's not been properly regulated.
Okay.
Now, because it's not been properly regulated, it's not been able to acquire the recognition that it deserves. Now, I can tell you something. For every one herbal concoction that works very, very well on somebody, there's another herbal concoction that is saying that it's doing the same thing, probably prepared by the same person, that did not work and even injured or killed someone. Now, this is where we come down to the issue of standardization, and regulation.
Okay.
If you have standardization, then we know that if somebody is preparing a herbal concoction or a herbal medicine, what he prepares today should be the same as what is prepared tomorrow, and the one that is prepared the next day. And we know that it should do the same exact thing that it did yesterday and the day before, and it does it today. That is just what we're saying. And the only way for us to achieve that is, wait, let me just finish, is for us to go through this. Now, in terms of this recognition, the federal government, from what I'm aware, it recognizes this issue that you're talking about. That's why NAFDAC created the Nigerian Herbal Medicine Product Committee, in order to facilitate expedited clinical reviews for herbal concoctions, so that they can be regularized and integrated.
All right.
So,
thank you.
We're ready.
All right, you answered the question very quickly now. Abby, are you there?
Yeah, Mark.
All right, quickly, ask your question, quickly.
Yeah, my question goes to Mr. Nicholas.
Okay.
Due to what Mr. Paul said, as you can see, he has done his own part. But now for the government to play their part. Now, there's no security measures for him, you heard him right, that if he is able to at least voice out or list out those patients he has cured with the vanity elixir.
What is the question, Abby? What's your question?
Now, the question is, how do you think that the government can standardize all these herbal medical practitioner, so that our proactive measures can be as fast as to effect of pandemic in our country?
All right, thank you very much.
Due to what Madagascar brought in to cure COVID-19.
All right, thank you very much. Dr. Nicholas, you heard the question right. How can the government speed up standardization to make this thing easy for access?
Well, like I told Pat before, the government is already making an attempt, from what I've gathered, to speed up standardization. It would have been even good, Mark, if you had a NAFDAC official here to participate in this conversation, because you are putting me in the position of where I'm having to defend the government. I don't know what's my own there, but from what I understand, they created this Nigerian Herbal Medicine Product Committee 2 years ago. With the process for expedited review. Look, the truth of the matter is, to this person that asked the question, review of clinical trials and review of efficacy, safety trials for drugs is not something that occurs overnight. These are things that take years. I mean, they take years for that final drug that you swallow to come out. So when we're talking about expedited review, we're talking about trying to make the process faster. The truth of the matter is that I'm not talking about the Iris Medical Center, but a lot of people who make claims about herbal meds just make claims. Nobody's ready. They're not ready to put down anything. You know, they're not ready to okay, look, upon all the claims you've heard, NAFDAC has declared that only four products are with them for testing.
All right.
I think that says it all.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
Dr. Paul, apparently we might just coast home with this response from you because Dr. Nicholas has been able to really expand it, even though he said that we should have had a NAFDAC official here to answer most of those questions. But he's been able to put up a very strong case and saying, look, with all the claims we've been hearing about herbal solutions here and there, only 4 is with NAFDAC at the moment for possible testing. So, I mean, how do we now have faith in an organization of that magnitude where we hear so much vague stories, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the real body that regulates drugs, we have just only 4 with them that are possible coming for the testing? How do you address this?
Mark, it still boils down to the fact that a lot of them are not that bold enough to come out and say, I can do this, I can do that. That is just the plain truth. And, you know, see, like what Dr. Nicholas has said and what Pat has said, let me use the word. Traditional medicine has been with us time immemorial. Dr. Nicholas opened up by saying most synthetic medicine is derived from, you know, traditional medicine and alternative medicine, okay? The government needs to reach out to these people and keep on encouraging them. If you have something, let us know. If you're sure of this, let us know. We can send NAFDAC over to your laboratory or to your factory to get this medication and work on it. The truth is this. It will take a longer time. It's still a gradual process and a continuous process. Iris Medical Foundation moved very, very fast because of the man in charge. That is the plain truth. Most of our traditional medical practitioners are not so schooled. They are not so exposed. Mark, every year I travel out. I go to Asia because Asia is the home of alternative medicine. You know, the Chinese, the Indians, and so on. I keep on upgrading myself. Today, Germany is now #1 in alternative medicine. I must go to their conventions regularly to understand what standard practice is now acceptable.
All right, Dr. Paul. All right, Dr. Paul, we might end this. Thank you very much for your submission. We really appreciate your presence. And of course, Dr. Nicholas, we appreciate you as well. We thank you so much, and we hope to call on you once again when we have an issue revolving around this matter. Well, of course, it's time. We are winding down already, and it's been a very exposed conversation so far. And for those of you out there still wondering if COVID-19 is real, I hope so far you are now convinced beyond reasonable doubt that indeed. You heard them. It's been quite exciting. We've had fun. And if you've had fun watching this debate, all right, you can follow the conversation on our social media handles at TVC Connect and at TVC News Nigeria. My personal handle is at Makotabo on Twitter, Instagram. You can engage me with the hashtag The Big Issue. Remember, if the issue is not big enough, it definitely has no business here. Thank you so much for staying with us. Till we meet again, this would always be The Big Issue.